The one Indian state that's making a big splash here at the World Economic Forum in Davos is Telangana, being represented by a fifth-time Davos man, Rama Rao. Welcome once again. It's great to have you back with us on India Today and Business Today. I want to start by asking you, KTR, about what Telangana has managed to achieve out of the World Economic Forum in Davos this year.
Well, Rahul, firstly, as you would understand, obviously you're a Davos veteran as well now. Relationships, especially when it comes to investment decisions, do not happen overnight. So they have to be nurtured. They have to be, basically handheld properly. So what Davos gives you, what the World Economic Forum gives you, is of course insights into what is happening across the world in various countries, and it also gives you insights into the most important things plaguing the world at large. But again, from my perspective as a Minister for Industry, Commerce, Information Technology, it gives me an opportunity to connect with the decision makers who take investment decisions in their own respective roles. Now, this time around, we've had significant success because, like I said, we've been meeting these people regularly. We've been, sensitizing them on the opportunities in India and primarily in Telangana. And this time, in fact, we are making some big ticket announcements, and we also have signed some very interesting MOUs. First one I'd like to talk about is the C4IR, the Center for Industrial Revolution focused on life sciences. Rahul, as you know, Hyderabad and Telangana is the life sciences capital of India and also by extension of the world, because we produce 1/3 of global vaccines, 9 billion doses. We also produce 40% of India's pharma. We have India's largest medtech park. So it was only logical that a life sciences center of the World Economic Forum had to be set up in Hyderabad. We're looking forward to some really cutting-edge work there, cell and gene therapy, precision medicine, etc. I really look forward to that because I think that is the next frontier to conquer. Also, a number of other things we can talk about.
No, but you pushed the T-Hub.
Yes.
That was a big passion project of yours. What are the key deliverables the T-Hub has actually managed to land so far? What's come out of the T-Hub?
Well, firstly, I'd say, T-Hub, when we conceptualized it, imagined it, back in 2014, the idea was to spur the innovation ecosystem and the government playing the role of an enabler. Today, T-Hub has not only created 57 other co-working spaces / incubators in the country. Yesterday, in fact, Startup India awarded it as the best incubator in the country. It's the world's largest incubator, technology incubator, with almost 500,000 square foot of space. Under one roof, you can have 2,000 startups working from. You have mentorship, you have venture capital access, you have access to all the regulators, and incorporating, innovating, and basically incubating, all three aspects covered. The biggest outcome of T-Hub, if you ask me, is the impact that it has been able to create. The first space tech company from India which sent a rocket into space is a T-Hub incubator called Skyroot. Another company from Hyderabad, again, which came out of the startup ecosystem, is Dhruva, which sent nanosatellites into the orbit. So the kind of frontiers these young guys are conquering is extremely heartening, and of course, I'm looking forward to more and more unicorns and sunicorns coming out of T-Hub as well.
When it comes to the level of competitiveness between Indian states, the one thing Karnataka likes to point out frequently is that they get much more foreign direct investment than Telangana does. Despite the efforts that you're making, why is Hyderabad losing out to Bengaluru?
Well, I would say that is a misconception, because last year, according to NASSCOM, out of the 450,000 new jobs created in information technology, 150,000 came from Hyderabad. 146 were created in Bangalore. So the real numbers that matter are employment, and I would be happy to argue with my counterparts in Karnataka and elsewhere. The fact is, Hyderabad now contributes to 1/3 of IT jobs created in India. Our IT exports have gone through the roof from 57,000 crores in 2014 to 1,83,000 crores last year. So we are growing much higher than national average and much more than Bangalore as well. But my competition is not with Bangalore. In fact, I love Bangalore as a city. It's a city that I've actually visited very frequently. I have nothing against them, but the only thing is, of course, they've had a lot of first mover advantage. They started in the 80s, we started in 2000. So we're playing catch up. We're the Pepsi, they're the Coke, so we continue to play catch up. But my best wishes to them, in beating us and moving further up in employment numbers as well.
How much does the relationship between the state of Telangana and the center, being fractious in the way that it is, impact your hopes of trying to develop Telangana economically the way you want?
If I have to sum it up in one word, one sentence, if the rest of India performed as well as Telangana did, we would have been a 5 trillion economy already. Because, our per capita was 1,24,000 rupees in 2014. With with tenacious efforts, we've achieved 2,78,000 as of last year, which is the highest in the country for any state. That tells you how well we performed. Our GSDP was 5 lakh crores 2014. It was 11.55 lakh crores last year. Our growth rate is the highest in the country, 15% CAGR. Now, if the rest of India performed as well as we did, we would have been a 5 trillion economy, and despite COVID, despite demonetization, despite an inimical union government, despite all this, we have done. Had there been support, like you were saying, we would have grown even faster.
But while you're highlighting the gross state domestic product numbers, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman was in Telangana recently, and she highlighted the high level of indebtedness, saying that each child is born with a debt of 1.25 lakh rupees on his head. The union government seems to think you and your government are taking Telangana towards financial ruin through public indebtedness.
Rahul, in fact, Mrs. Sitharaman should correct herself, because I think she was talking about India's debt and not Telangana's debt, because India's debt prior to Narendra Modi ji was 56 lakh crores. Between the 14 prime ministers before Modi ji, the complete debt of India, the national debt, was 56 lakh crores. One Modi ji, in the last 8.5 years, has raised India's debt single-handedly. He added another 100 lakh crores. So today India's debt is about 156 lakh crores. The per child 1,25,000 rupees she was talking about is pan-India, and that is primarily thanks to Nirmala Sitharaman and Narendra Modi ji. And the other thing I also
She gave the numbers for Telangana.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
The other thing I also want to talk about is, we are guided by FRBM Act. Since when did the centre respect FRBM Act? Ever since it was formulated or promulgated in 2003 or 4 as an act, the centre has flouted it 19 times in the last 19 years. Let me tell you, as a state, of course we work under the larger rubric of India, so therefore we have no choice but to comply with the FRBM regulations. And they try and squeeze us once in a while, almost imposing sanctions like we are an enemy state or something. The point is, squeezing us dry and then calling us out saying you're doing something wrong is rather imbecile.
How are you being squeezed dry? Because you get your fair share of GST collections, for example, and all of what the centre has to give to the state. So how are you accusing the centre of squeezing you dry, Kitty?
Well, two things. Firstly, Telangana has contributed 3,68,000 crores to the union kitty in the last 8.5 years. What we get back in the form of devolution and others is only 1,68,000 crores. So we contribute more to the nation than what we get back. But we don't have any grouse against it. We are not saying we should get back every single rupee and more. But when Nirmala Sitharaman comes to Telangana and says, PDS के दुकान में मोदी जी का तस्वीर क्यों नहीं लगाया, तो मैं भी पूछ सकता हूँ, पूरे हिंदुस्तान में तेलंगाना को थैंक्स कहते हुए आप भी लगा दो बोर्ड, क्योंकि हम 2 लाख करोड़ हमने contribute किया. She doesn't want to say, answer that. The other thing I also wanted to point out, see, we are guided by FRBM regulations. My debt GSDP is only 24%. India's national debt, GDP versus debt ratio is 65%. So who's she preaching? Somebody who's actually performing far worse than us. Somebody who's actually, given this country the highest inflation in 45 years, the highest unemployment in 30 years, comes and preaches to us, and with 100 lakh crore debt, comes and preaches fiscal prudence to us.
No, but
it's a joke.
Let's look at the RBI.
And how else are we being squeezed? The debt that is raised by the corporations in Telangana, state-owned corporations, is also unfortunately now rules are being redrafted, midway that is. Now they're saying even the corporation debt has to be factored under FRBM, and therefore the state's borrowings have to be curtailed. So this sort of negative attitude and inimical attitude is only going to hamper the growth of the country. This is exactly why this whole dream that was shown, that 5 trillion economy, has not been fulfilled. 2022 तक हर किसी को घर मिलना था, हर किसी के घर में पानी आना था, हर किसी के पास बुलेट ट्रेन या ट्रैवल करने की सुविधा होनी थी, और उन्होंने ये भी कहा था कि 5 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी हो जाएगा. क्या हुआ? 2023 में हम लोग बैठे. पूछो निर्मला जी से.
But if you look at the RBI bulletin that came out, it says that for 9 days in October, you actually had an overdraft. Now, a lot of people who look
Why don't we talk about the fiscal deficit of Government of India? Why don't we talk about the 100 lakh crores of Government of India? RBI किसके जरिए काम करती है सबको पता है. RBI क्या लिखती है सबको पता है. इस देश में क्या हो रहा है सबको पता है. Institutions are being abused like never before in the country. CBI, EDs, ITs, RBIs, every institution literally is at the beck and call of a couple of people in Delhi. So Rahul, please don't give me this whole sanctimonious ceremonial lecture on fiscal prudence and things like that. We are performing far better than the rest of the country, definitely far better than the non-performing alliance in Delhi. So we certainly believe that They have a few things to learn from us and not the other way around.
So I see you started by making your investment pitch, you're very quickly pulling out your political sword as well, and are ready to have a go at Prime Minister Modi. There's a big election coming up.
See, he's the most inefficient, incompetent Prime Minister the country has seen. The reason why I say this is very simple. Because he single-handedly contributed to India's largest inflation ever. He single-handedly contributed to largest unemployment ever.
But inflation is a global phenomenon. Russia, Ukraine, look at interest.
जब मोदी जी चीफ मिनिस्टर थे, then why did he speak about devaluation of currency? क्या क्या बोला था उन्होंने? आपके रिकॉर्ड में से निकालो. अगर तब वो गलत, तब वो सही थे, अब गलत है क्या हमारा बोलना? तब क्या कहा था उन्होंने? जब डॉलर 60 रुपए पे था, मोदी जी ने लेक्चर दिया कि इनकॉम्पिटेंट गवर्नमेंट है दिल्ली में, नालायक गवर्नमेंट है, करप्ट गवर्नमेंट है. अब कौन है दिल्ली में? तो पिछले 8 साल से तो आप हो. अब नालायक कौन है, करप्ट कौन है? वी जस्ट कॉलिंग आउट प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी यूजिंग चीफ मिनिस्टर मोदीज वर्ड्स. आई एम नॉट सेइंग एनीथिंग न्यू. So point I'm trying to make, Rahul, is to lecture others and to give this spiel that I've done something truly out of the ordinary is silly, because numbers say otherwise. He is the most inefficient, incompetent Prime Minister India has seen. The 15 Prime Ministers that we've had. Single-handedly he's destroyed India's economy by something called demonetization. Let me also remind you, Rahul. Now they might take recourse under COVID. मैं आपको याद दिलाना चाहता हूँ. कोविड से 8 क्वार्टर, कोविड से पहले जो 8 क्वार्टर थे, इकोनॉमी स्लो होते गया. स्लो डाउन से लेके आके लॉकडाउन में गिरा दिया. फिर आज क्या हुआ? नतीजा यह है कि 3 ट्रिलियन. अब उसका भी छोटी सी बात का पतंगड़ बना के बोलते हैं 5th लार्जेस्ट इकोनॉमी.
एंड द फास्टेस्ट ग्रोइंग एज वेल. फास्टेस्ट ग्रोइंग.
बेस लाइन अगर आपका छोटा है तो फास्ट ही तो होगा. बेस ही गलत है आपका तो फास्ट ही होगा. कल रघुराम राजन से मेरी बात हो रही थी. तो पॉइंट इज, राहुल, ये जो आंकड़े दिखा के लोगों को गुमराह करने की जो कोशिश करते हैं, वो चाहे थोड़े लोग उसमें फंस जाएंगे. हम समझाने की कोशिश करेंगे हिंदुस्तान को कि जो बोला जा रहा है, जो दिखाया जा रहा है, गलत है सरासर. ग्लोबल हंगर इंडेक्स में हमारी रैंक क्या है, राहुल? मोदी जी आने से पहले 88 था, आज 107 है. तो क्या बात कर रहे हो? फूड सिक्योरिटी की बात करते हैं, कुछ और बात करते हैं. विच इंडेक्स हैज इंडिया इंप्रूव्ड अंडर मोदी? कैन यू प्लीज टेल मी? कैन यू प्लीज एजुकेट मी? 82 रुपीस है पर डॉलर. फिर क्या हुआ?
ग्लोबल डिवैल्यूएशन ऑफ करेंसी.
तो जब उनका दौर नहीं था, तब ग्लोबल कुछ नहीं था. तब इंडियन गवर्नमेंट वाज करप्ट, इनएफिशिएंट, इनकम्पूप. अभी क्या हो रहा है फिर?
Explain the national ambitions of the BRS. You've changed the name from the TRS to the Bharatiya Rashtra Samiti. There's a big rally taking place. Arvind Kejriwal, Bhagwant Mann, a lot of opposition leaders there. What's the message the BRS is trying to send to the people of India?
The messaging is very clear. We want India to understand that India and China both had a similar sized economy in 1987. But China is at 16 trillion now, India is languishing at 3 trillion. What went wrong? Despite all the tall dreams that were shown, despite all the nice things that we were told कि 2014 के बाद मैजिक हो जाएगा और देश एकदम अमेरिका जैसा हो जाएगा, अमेरिकन लोग खड़े रहेंगे लाइन में वीसा लेने के लिए इंडिया का, क्या हुआ? आज हिंदुस्तान की क्या हालत है? अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट हो, इन्फ्लेशन हो, जो कोई भी इंडिकेटर ले लो आप, दुनिया में वी लैंग्वेज एंड वी आर अनफॉर्चुनेटली नॉट एबल टू सीज द मूवमेंट. The point we are trying to make is this whole polarization tactics which might get you votes will not help the country grow. It will not solve the unemployment problem. That is the agenda we want to set to the country. We want to give the message to our fellow countrymen that if a state like Telangana can perform and grow at 15%, can complete a drinking water connection to each and every home, can give absolutely free power to the farmers across, can give farm input assistance, and can complete the world's largest lift irrigation project in 4 years, why is the country not doing the same elsewhere? This should be the debate. Unemployment, job creation, wealth creation. Unfortunately, वो सब छोड़ के पाकिस्तान को दिखा के, अफगानिस्तान को दिखा के, बांग्लादेश को दिखा के, मुसलमान को दिखा के, माइनॉरिटी को दिखा के, उसको दुश्मन बना के, जो वोट लेने वाली, वोट हड़पने वाली पोलराइजेशन है, ये सरासर गलत है, हिंदुस्तान के हित में नहीं है.
How feasible is the idea of opposition unity in your mind? Because everybody has their own agenda, they have their own fiefdoms which they want to protect and nurture. Can the opposition truly come together to take on the BJP?
See, stranger things have happened in India before. See, nobody even gave a chance to the opposition in 2004. Everybody thought Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji was invincible. India was shining back then, remember? But the unthinkable has happened. So who knows? And the thing is,
it's something that you want to work very hard towards between now and next.
The narrative. See, Rahul, it's not just about power. It's not just about dislodging somebody. It's about ensuring that the country, in fact, focuses on the right issues. There is no debate on unemployment. There is no debate on inflation. There's no debate on being the country with the largest LPG price in the world. No debate on that. बात करते हैं हम लोग कुछ और चीज की जो अनइम्पॉर्टेंट है, इनकॉन्सिक्वेंशियल है. तो हम लोग चाहते हैं कि सही चीज पे चर्चा हो, मीडिया भी हमारी मदद करे थोड़ा बहुत. हमसे हमेशा इसी बात की नहीं कि कोई किसी ने वहां पे एयर इंडिया में ये कर दिया या फलाना जगह कुछ और हो गया.
आपका पूरा इंटरव्यू चल रहा है लाइव, आप ऐसे बोल रहे हैं.
ये तो रिकॉर्ड है. तो
नहीं बट चल रहा है, ऐसे थोड़ी होता है.
राहुल जी क्या दिखाएंगे?
ना क्यों, लास्ट टाइम यू सॉ वी रैन द होल इंटरव्यू. Of course.
Thankful to you.
No, but there is also a big election in Telangana. Yes. And the BJP thinks between the last election and now, they've been able to gain ground in Telangana, and after Karnataka, Telangana will be in the BJP's mind the second state they win.
See, I'm going to go on a limb out here and say that they are also losing Karnataka. They will also lose Telangana. In Telangana last time, out of the 119 assembly seats, they've lost their deposits in 108. So for them to think and say that they've gained a lot of ground. मुझे बचपन में एक सीरियल याद आ रही है, मुंगेरी लाल के हसीन सपने. हाँ, सपने तो सारे देख सकते हैं, गलती कोई नहीं. But the thing is, you also have to get assessment of ground realities. Yes, it is a fact. Congress has lost the plot in Telangana and elsewhere in the country. So they might have these ambitions कि कांग्रेस का जो जगह था हम लोग ले लेंगे, वो शायद हो सकता है. But to think and assume that they'll actually come to rule in Telangana, I'll ask you one simple question. Let any BJP leader answer this across the country. Let them tell me or the people of Telangana one thing that they've done for Telangana. मोदी जी पिछले 6 महीने में गुजरात गए कई बार, 70 बार या 75 बार, पता नहीं, आपको भी याद नहीं होगा. 1,80,000 करोड़ का प्रोजेक्ट अनाउंस किया वहां पे, इतने सारे फाउंडेशन डाल दिए. तेलंगाना में क्या किया उन्होंने? एक काम बताओ, जो प्रॉमिस किया वही नहीं निभाया, तो किस मुंह लेके वोट मांगने आएंगे?
No, but in the recent municipal elections in the area around Hyderabad, they gave your party, the TRS at that time, a real fright, and they think that they have therefore made enough headway to be able to make this a really tight election, a really tightly contested election.
Like I said, Rahul, Congress has lost the plot. If they have gained some ground, it is at the Congress's expense. The TRS still won the corporation election, let me remind you.
Yeah.
And we've won a lot of elections in between the last general election and now. So therefore, सपना कोई भी कुछ भी देख लें, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. लोग, तेलंगाना के जनता जो है, जब तक हमारे साथ हैं, I have a strong feeling that KCR ji will be the first South Indian Chief Minister to do a hat-trick. No Chief Minister in South India has won on 3 consecutive terms on a trot. I think KCR will deliver that.
What do you think of Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra? Went through Telangana as it is through the rest of the state. It seems to have got a good response in Telangana and elsewhere as well, at least as far as people coming out to support him is concerned.
I only have one question to you, Rahul. The thing is, I understand what Mr. Gandhi is trying to do, trying to basically ensure that Congress doesn't just decimate itself and kind of annihilate itself. But the fact is, political decisions and political knack also matters. You're walking across the country. There is an election happening in Gujarat. You bypass the entire state and you're walking in other states. I don't get the logic of it. What will the Congress cadre in Gujarat think? Will they not think that this gentleman has actually completely surrendered himself to Modi ji? The point is, what is the objective of this yatra if it is not giving you any political dividends at the end of the day? भारत जोड़ो ठीक है, पहले कांग्रेस तो जोड़ो. आप चल रहे हो केरला में, आपके 8 MLA गोवा में निकल गए, बीजेपी में शामिल हो गए, किसको जोड़ रहे हो आप? पहले कांग्रेस को तो जोड़ो.